count to yourself. Whatever that count is, doesn't matter if you are a slow or fast counter. And then I want you to make sure that your exhalation is the same length, right? And that just ensures that we're breathing as evenly as we can, very slow, very conscious. All right. Try that one more. All right. Now, keeping our focus on the breath as much as we can. You know, it's hard to move, balance, do all the things, and constantly have the perfect breath. But we are going to try to keep it and check in with it as much as we can. So go ahead and bend the knees now. And as you do that, you want to have each heel lining up with the center of the glutes. I like to kind of lift my hips up, move them down a little bit if I can. My shoulders are spread apart. I want to feel as much width across my shoulders as possible. I want to feel my back long, my neck long, and then the arms are going to come down when everything else feels like it's just where I want it to be. Arms are going to come alongside here. All the while I'm staying focused on my breathing. Now you can work, excuse me, on your Ujjayi breathing, which is creating that little whispery sound feeling in the back of the throat, if you like that. Almost kind of just like taking your tongue up to the roof of the mouth and feeling that breath and hearing that little bit of a whispery noise. So again, that's something you can work on if you like. So we're going to continue that breath a couple more times. We're settling in here, just making sure that we don't need to move anything. Everything's pretty comfortable. Still feeling that belly expand on the inhale. You can do a little contraction on the exhale, but not a really, really tight one to where you feel like you can't breathe. All right, one more full breath with no movement at all. And then our first few, we're just gonna work upper body. So inhale, just let the arms kind of float up off the mat. See how far they go back as you complete that breath in. And then you're gonna exhale, bring those arms all the way back down to your mat. And again, inhale. And exhale. I've been noticing now, keep going with that, that now that the weather's warmer, I do feel like I'm maybe not quite so stiff in the morning. I don't know if you've noticed that at all, but I'm just feeling like, you know, it's now that our cold mornings are gone, hopefully, right? It is a little easier to get moving. So maybe you'll feel like your warm-up is happening a little faster, maybe not, but I feel like I've got more range of motion right away with this overhead movement. Taking that full exhalation to bring the arm back down. So we're really doing more than just arms here, right? We're feeling this all the way to the fingertips. We're feeling this as the arms come into the shoulders and everything's connected. It goes down the sides of the body. So anywhere that you're feeling it is good. All right. Now one more time. This time I want you to leave your arms overhead. So you might not be able to get them straight overhead. Maybe you've got some limits here. So you can just open them, open them wider apart. Even if you have to go to a T, which is straight out from our shoulders. But I do want you to go somewhere where the backs of your hands can rest and the backs of the arms can be on the floor. So whether that's, again, straight, angled, you could even bend the elbows, however it works for you. But I want you to have a little time here to notice if anything's still feeling tight. So using gravity here to hold the arms down. And now as you're breathing in, you might feel those tight areas are being challenged a little bit. But then as we exhale, we're going to hopefully let that tension go. So just keep the arms overhead a little bit longer here. spend some time here, you might notice that you might be able to take the arms from maybe far away from the body and then gradually bringing them closer or more in going overhead. So just to kind of get a little deeper here if you can. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and bring those arms lower, all of us, just to about that T position, so straight up from the shoulders. And you can do palms down or up. I don't have quite enough room on this side. I'm going to scoot over a little bit, but for the most part, my arms are extended. And we're going to keep the feet like this for now. And we're going to do that little twist where we have the legs staying apart, so that when we go into the twist, the knees are not going to be together the first few times, right? And it's just nice to do it. It hits our hips a little bit differently and the rest of the legs a little differently. So keeping those arms extended, we're going to take a breath in. And as you exhale, just let the knees drop to the right. So I'm going to the outside edge of my right foot, inside edge of my left foot, just seeing how far I go. I don't really go all the way to the mat yet. I'm going to inhale, bringing those knees back up. They're going to stay here parallel. I'm going to exhale and go to the left. So we're just going to go right and left a couple more times before we stay there. So knees up, inhale, exhale, drop them right. Inhale, bring the knees up. Again, this is still that very slow, conscious breathing. Exhale, knees go to the left. This time we're going to stay longer. So knees up, inhale. Exhale, drop them to the right, and see if you can get into a comfortable position. Again, you might not have your leg on the ground. That's okay. But just make sure you're okay if you're hovering a bit. Now, I'm feeling this much more on the inside of the right thigh, and then kind of up and over that left hip. So again, I like doing this one. It's the focus is just different, what we're hitting here. Trying to, again, always keep the opposite shoulder down. That's the one that wants to kind of come up. All right, bring the knees up as you inhale. Exhale, drop your knees left. So now, again, the inside edge of the right foot, outside edge of the left foot. Again, notice that the hip's going to come up. The outside hip comes up, but the shoulder doesn't. And just kind of noticing where you feel it in each leg, each hip. All right, bring those knees back up, inhale. Now, bring your feet and knees touching this time, but we're still not going into the deeper twist. And remember, when we're working on our twists, we really want to think of what's happening inside the body, inside the center of the body. So if you had a wet towel, think of how you would go to the middle and you would just twist it as tight as possible, right? Think of doing that with those layers of abdominals when you're going into your twist. Arms are going to stay here. Now we're going to walk our both feet together, touching, knees just slightly off center to the left a little bit. We're going to do a little easier version first. So inhale first, exhale, drop the knees to the right. Not quite as deep through the center of the body as if we had the feet directly in line with the hips. Again, and I really want you to be noticing things today, all right? Let's just make that our theme. So whenever you're in a pose, and we'll stay in some of these a little bit longer, I want you to really check in with your body, and I want you to notice where you're feeling it. Hopefully it's a good feeling, a good stretch, whatever. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's something that's a little uncomfortable, and then that might give you some hints about things that maybe are tighter in your body that you need to work on. All right, bring the knees up together. Inhale. Now we have to move both of our feet off center to our right a little bit, not the hips, just the feet over a little bit. Inhale first. Exhale, drop the knees left again. So this is that more modified twist. Couple more. And And then inhale, bring the knees back up. All right, so now if you're ready, you can keep the feet center, and we're just gonna go one more time right now. So the other option is if you are ready to really deepen that twist, you can start it with your feet off the mat, all right? I'm gonna keep mine on the mat, but I am gonna go from the center here. Inhale first, exhale, let the knees drop, and I'm actually kind of really checking to make sure my left hip's over my right, my left knee's over my right. I'm keeping that left shoulder down. I'm going to turn and look toward the left. And you can always, come out of it and go back to something else. If you get into something that's just not really feeling great today, feel free to go back and change it. That goes with everything that we do, right? All right, knees up as we inhale. Exhale, we're twisting to the left now. Same thing. This should be maybe the deepest one. Maybe you did this one with the feet off the mat. Keeping in mind that, when you've been doing yoga for as many years as you have, and now we're 2 years into Zooming, right? You know what works for you. You know that you sometimes have to push yourself, but it's also really important to listen to the body and not take it to a place where it's painful, right? There's a big difference between that being a little uncomfortable because we're working on something and something hurting because it just doesn't fit with your body at that moment. Doesn't mean that you won't get there at some point, but right now, if your body's just giving you a pretty loud comment like, no, don't do that. All right, bring it back up. Now bring those knees into the chest and just roll the back a little bit. So far we've just kind of been working the trunk, right, the hips, torso, legs a little bit. Let's start over again with the feet on the mat, and let's get into that lower body a little bit more. So now arms are alongside you. Take a breath in and out. Next, inhale, we're going to take the arms all the way overhead. Now this time, exhale, pull the right knee in. Only as you're exhaling. Inhale again, arms overhead, right foot goes down. Exhale, bring the left knee in. So we'll get through this a little bit faster now. Again, not as much work here. So we're just alternating. Every time we're exhaling, you should be pulling a knee into your chest. And when you're inhaling, we're still working that overhead stretch. I don't feel like you can ever do that too many times. All right, continue your right and left, alternating a few more. All right, now whenever you get to your right leg again, let's just stay there. You can pull that knee close in, as that feels good. And then extend the foot up first. You're going to hold behind the leg somewhere. Just start working your ankle and your foot, flexing and pointing. And then circling the ankle. Both ways. All right. And then just a little easy extension here. See how that feels. Straightening the knee if that's possible, or just pushing the heel up. All right, work the right hip a little bit. Let the knee bend more, and just move the knee around and loosen up the hip. Just a few circles each way. All right. All right, and then just extend the leg up one more time, maybe taking the hands a little bit lower than the knee if you can. Take a breath or two here. And then let that left leg stretch all the way out. So just a nice little easy hamstring stretch. Also stretching the front of that left hip as the leg extends out. If you're not able to get the leg all the way straight yet, that's okay. Just let your body work at the level that you're ready for right now. All right, Starting all over again, we gotta do the left, so pull the knees in real quick, roll that back a little bit. Feet come back to the mat, make sure everything's in place here. Take a breath in and out. And then on that next inhale, arms are gonna go overhead, and on the exhale, we're gonna pull that left knee in. Again, we're gonna start by just bringing the leg a little closer in. Notice what's happening. Notice how it feels different or maybe the same as the other leg. All right, extend that left foot up. Flex and point. Circle the ankle. Both ways. All right. After that foot and ankle warmed up, a little easy extension here. And then we're going to bend the knee. We're going to work our left hip a little bit. Again, just some big circles. Just a few times one way and then the other. Just loosen that hip up a little bit. Again, both ways. All right, extending the left leg again, maybe getting the hands a little lower than the knee if possible. Again, keeping our hips both on the mat. And then we're going to extend that right leg out. Give it a moment to lengthen. Keep the rest of the body on the mat. And then both knees back in. We're getting ready to make our way around onto our hands and knees. So roll the back a little bit and then join me when you're ready. You can roll to one side, push it on up, rock it on up, whatever you need to do. I need to put my hair back. So have your blocks ready if you think you might need them. Same goes with a strap. We're not going to be in our plank easy mat flow for too long, but just have the blocks ready if you need them, especially when we're going to be coming to the front of our mat, coming into our forward bend. But let's start out, just get on the hands and knees and work through the back, right? We want to work through that cat and cow pose. So take a moment when everything is lined up and the back is straight and focus on that breath. Feel it still expanding into the belly here. Now the belly is going to be moving down, right, toward the mat. And then on the exhale, we're pulling that belly in a little tighter. And then we're going to inhale. We're going to make our way into cow pose. So the belly's going out, but now we're lifting that tailbone and chest. And then we're arching and bringing the back into that really rounded position upright. Inhale, lengthen and lift to cow. Exhale, arching into cat. So continue to work through those. Two more times. Now we're going to inhale back to cow. I want you to tuck the toes under right away. Exhale into downward dog. So we didn't really move the hands further out like we do most of the time. I want you to have this shorter dog as you start. Press the hips up and back. Allow your head to hang. If you're looking under you, your neck is too tight. You just want the head to be hanging. Don't tighten up through the shoulders. Press back so you really feel the sides of the body lengthening. Feel the hamstrings lengthening. Keep the knees a little more relaxed if that feels better. And then you can shift the weight around. You can do one foot and then the other. You can also kind of twist the hips. You can shift your weight into one shoulder and the other. I want you to do whatever you need to do here to start feeling good in that downward dog. All right, bring the knees back down. Drop those hips, come back into child's pose. All right? Always feel free to use any props that help you get into any of these positions more comfortably. Okay, now let's get into that downward dog that's a little bit longer. So walk your hands forward, keep the hips back, but start stretching now through the arms, through the sides of the shoulders, just kind of like what we did when we were on our back and we had the arms overhead. Press your palms firmly into the mat. Bring the toes under. Let those hips come up into your downward dog. So again, you should feel like there's a little bit more distance now from the hands to the feet. Give it some time. And again, you can always go back down to the knees if you need to rest. You don't have to be here the whole time, but you can. Now we're going to flow a couple of times till we get to the top of the mat. I want you to, again, just work on your own. I'll cue you, of course, the first time, but then after that, you can go a couple more times on your own. Inhale as you make your way into the plank, and and your shoulders are over the hands, and then we're going to kind of tilt and lift our heart forward just slightly. Tighten up that backside. Now exhale and lower slowly, elbows in, knees down if you want to modify it. Control it as much as you can. Inhale, cobra. As you come forward, shoulders come back. Lift your heart. Exhale, child's pose. All right, downward dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Now I want you to take a little time and go through that once or twice more, or you can rest in child's pose and just enjoy that, or you can go to downward dog and just kind of hang out there. Maybe you're working through some tightness and things like that. So just kind of giving you a little time to work on your own. And from there, we are going to be moving to the top of our mat. So for myself, I'm just going to come to my downward dog one more time. I'm going to work on my lower body, pedaling the feet, and then lifting the heels up and down a few times to kind of warm up into the balls of my feet. So again, we're just preparing to come to the top of the mat, so do whatever you want to do. If you're still flowing through that, go right ahead. But whenever you're ready, you're going to then walk those feet forward. Maybe you can hop them forward, jump them forward, whatever you want to do. When you get the feet under you, you kind of want to arrange them so that they look like if you were standing up, you would be in your mountain pose, but we're going to stay down here a little bit longer. So either grabbing the blocks, grabbing the elbows, maybe hands on the mat. Again, let the head drop. Once you've looked at your feet, don't keep looking at them. Drop the head. So now your eyes are looking at the knees or between the legs. And shift your weight more into the heels, more into the toes. Again, you've got your hands here to keep you from falling. So just notice as you shift your weight around, how different it feels, maybe up the back of the legs or up through the back or through the hips. All right, to come up the first time, I want you to pull the belly as tight as you can, really bend those knees a little bit. And then as the hands come up, you can roll it up. You can bring your hands mid-thigh, give yourself a little bit of support if that helps, or you can just roll it up, up, up. Shoulders come up and back. Think of the heart as not pointing straight ahead, but slightly up. Getting nice and tall here. All right, you want to feel as if somebody is pulling from the center of your head, the crown of the head, and almost lifting you off your heels. You want to have that much lift and elevation in your posture. Circle the hands a couple times, one way and the other. Find that soft energy through the shoulders and arms. All right, take a breath in. On the exhale, tuck your chin, roll toward the floor into that forward bend, hands coming to, again, something that's going to help give you some support. Let the head hang, take a breath in and out. Tighten the belly, bend the knees, roll it back up. Inhale, take the arms all the way overhead. Exhale, bring your palms together, follow them through, and come into your forward bend again. Now inhale, lift halfway up. Use the legs, use the blocks, lift the chest forward, pull the shoulders back and toward each other. Inhale here, exhale, forward bend. Inhale, you can continue to roll it out. Bringing the arms overhead as you're upright, hands to your heart, and back to mountain pose. You can continue with that or go into that full, beautiful dive. If you're ready, inhale up, exhale, forward bend, leading with your heart here. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, back up. Exhale to mountain pose. All right, we're going to get back into downward dog and get into a couple of warrior poses next. All right, here we go. Arms up. Forward bend. Exhale. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward bend. Now you can step or hop back to your plank. Inhaling as you get there, exhaling as you lower. Inhale into cobra. Exhale back to child's pose. If it is easier for you to transition from your hands and knees as opposed to downward dog, that's always an option. All right, come to your downward dog. Now, before we step forward, I want you to bring that right foot off the mat. Two options. You can just lift it up a little bit and push the heel toward whatever's behind you, or you can keep the leg the same way, pushing back but lifting it higher. And then we're going to bring that right foot through. So even if you didn't have the foot very high, start to step it through. And then the left foot's going to come in. We're going to try to find our warrior one as we come up. Now, if you get up and you just know that it doesn't feel quite right, just fix it. That front knee is right over the front foot. The back leg is straight, but it's angled slightly out, but we're not letting the hip go with it. So keep everything facing front. Step the foot in if you're not able to get those hips even. Arms up, shoulders down. Continue to press the hips forward. You should be getting a lovely stretch here in front of that left hip. Shoulders are not up by the ears. We're going to press them down. Now interlace your hands behind you. Hold the shoulders back. I want you to really focus on lifting through the chest here. Arms do not have to move away from you, but they can. Next inhale, arms float back up. Exhale, open to warrior two. So open that up now, lining up the front foot, the back arch, turning everything to the side of the mat. Making sure the knee doesn't come with us, right? It's really a lot of work. You've got to keep it right over those toes. Open the arms. Relax the shoulders. Take your gaze over the right fingertips. Side angle pose. Lean into that right leg. You can always grab your block to go lower. Take the left arm up. And then extend that left arm if you like. So it becomes part of that left leg, right? We've got a long angle from left fingertips to the outside of that left heel. And back to warrior two. Now reverse warrior, take that palm up and don't straighten that knee, but bring the arm up and back and really stretching through that right side here. Back to warrior two. From here, slowly turn, drop the hands. Step back to either hands and knees, or step back to downward dog. Take a moment, stretch it all out. Now you can take a break if you need to. I'm turning to the other side to do the left. So again, we're starting here in that child's pose, or you can hang in the downward dog if you prefer. So remember, before we step forward, we're going to bring that left foot up, and you can either push it straight back or elevate the leg more, but don't change your hips. And then bring the left foot all the way through. Bring the right foot in. Make your way upright. You want your feet close enough that you feel like you can stand up without falling over, right? But then once we're up, we can change that stance a bit, take it further back. Arms up. So find that warrior one on the left. But remember that we don't want the feet lined up. We do want them about the same distance that they were in our mountain pose. All right. Shoulders down again, really lifting. Feeling that heart lift up, our gaze lifts up. Now bring your hands together, the opposite grip. You do one without thinking about it. If you have to practice it before you bring it back there, remember how it feels. Bring the hands together behind you, same thing. Start to pull. Now you may not have the same range of motion with the opposite grip. Lift the heart, pull the arms back. Next, inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, open it up to warrior two. So now again, lining up that front and back foot, turning your body completely to the side of the mat. Don't lose your balance like I did. Look over that left hand. Side angle pose. Left arm or hand goes to the left leg or block. Start by taking that right arm straight up from the shoulder. Don't let the body start closing in toward the floor here. Now, option to go into extended variation. If that doesn't work for you, you're going to continue to reach up. Inhale back to warrior two. Turn that left hand up. Reverse warrior, take the arm up and back. All right, back to warrior two. Now from here, we're going to make our way back to the mat. So again, we're going to be turning, changing the foot stance, bringing the hands down. A lot of things happening here. Bring that left foot back. Go to hands and knees first if you can transition a little better that way. And then come down to child's pose. What are we doing here? Oof. Okay. Now, so we didn't do a whole lot of warrior work today. That's okay. We're gonna do a little bit more standing work when we get back up. We need to do a little bit of balance work. So whenever you're ready, come to downward dog. Don't rush to get out. And then just walk or hop it back to the front. Come to your forward bend. Now let's just roll it up. Take some time. Head's gonna come up last. Roll those shoulders up and back. Ah. Bring those arms all the way up. Inhale. Hands through to the heart. Exhale. And coming to mountain pose. If you want to go to the wall or doorway, something like that for some extra balance on tree pose today, go ahead and do that. If you want to try it on the mat, go ahead and get ready for that. We're going to start with perfect mountain pose, standing tall, balanced through both sides of the body, both feet. You can bring your hands to your heart. If you're ready, you can bring your arms alongside. Pick whichever leg you want to start on. Turn the knee out. So we're more concerned with the knee pushing to the side than we are the height of this foot. Now maybe you can do it all, that's great. But if you bring the foot up and that knee's drifting around to the front, I'd rather you lower it a bit. And of course we never want to push into our knee joint. You can go right above without pushing into it, right? So I've got my heel really pushing into the mid-thigh. My toes are not pushing into my knee. If it doesn't work, maybe go lower. And there's nothing wrong with keeping your foot on the ground either. All right? Find a focal point, whatever that might be for you. You want to keep your focus as you change things in that pose, whether you're taking the arms up, maybe you're taking the foot higher. Again, but just find something to look at and stay focused. Some days I feel like I'm gonna do great and then I just fall out of it. That's okay. Find something that you can do 2 to 3 breaths. And if you do more than that, that's just a big bonus, right? All right, come out of it when you're ready. Make sure you go to mountain pose in between. Roll the shoulders back, circle the hands, whatever you need to do. Kind of get rid of that tension. Starting over on the other side when you're ready. Turn the knee out, take the foot wherever you want. Again, keep pulling up. So we don't want to start shrinking down. We want to be pulling up through that supporting leg. Find your focal point. And then again, adding other things, different arm positions, if you like. And again, coming out of that when you're ready. Now, if you moved off the mat, you are going to come back now. We're going to be making our way back down. So, find that mountain pose. Whoa, what am I doing? Roll those shoulders back. One more full breath here. Next inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale into your forward bend, all the way over. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat, forward bend. Slowly make your way back to your downward dog. Lift the hips up. Stretch it out. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower, all the way down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, back down. Now this one's going to be a little bit challenging. I want you to tuck the toes under. You're going to push yourself back up to a plank or maybe just a modified plank. So maybe you just push up to the knees or you push up and bring it all up. Either way, hold that plank for another breath. Back to downward dog. And then back to child's pose. Bring the knees down, bring the arms in. Rest there for a little bit. we're going to be turning around now to sitting on the mat with the legs extended. So maybe grab a strap. We're going to do a couple of forward bends and twists here. Make your way here when you're ready. All right, so my legs are extended. I do feel my sitting bones very grounded under me. I feel like they're very evenly grounded to the mat. Bring the shoulders up and back. Bring the arms up, inhale. Exhale, forward bend. Reach forward. You're going to get to a point where you feel like you've stopped. But you're going to inhale again and lengthen through the back. And then exhale, moving that whole upper body in one piece. So don't think of it as upper and then lower back. I want you to think of the whole back as long and bending forward. Nice and easy. All right, make your way out of that. We're going to pull this right knee in. Foot goes on the ground, sitting tall. Exhale, we're going to go into our twist. Now, if you feel like you're leaning back or rounding over, I want you to take that foot further away so you can have the straightest spine possible. If I pull my knee in and things start to collapse, it's not good. So stay tall. Now, right hand goes somewhere behind us. Left hand, we can keep the left hand or arm wrapping. You can even take that elbow outside the knee, but whatever you do, you're going to keep the back nice and tall. Inhale, exhale, twisting. I'm not going to lean into this hand. I'm just using it to help pull me around. Remember the tight or the twisting towel, squeezing the towel. That's what's happening from the inside out. Exhale. Now the left foot is still engaged, so don't forget about it. Let it flop open. We want to have some energy in that foot. So inhale, exhale on the twist. Go where you can. Inhale, come back to the front. Exhale, we're going to take that leg out. Make sure the hips are nice and even before you do the other side. So pull that left knee in. Inhale, make sure you can straighten the spine. Exhale, starting to make our way into our twist. So again, bring this left hand somewhere behind you, but don't let the body go with it. Just be up on the finger pads to pull yourself up and around. Every inhale, we're staying tall. Every exhale, we're going into that twist. Again, energize your right foot. All right, back to the front now. I want you to keep that left leg bent. Move it away from the right leg a little bit. Bend your right knee. Straight back. We're just going to come into boat pose quickly before we do our last forward bend. So we've got some options here. I can start by just taking the hands out, taking one foot up, and then the other, if I'm not wanting to take both up today, can also come up onto my toe pads, right? Ooh, might make your feet cramp a little bit. Can take my hands behind the knees. I'd never let my back round. All right, one foot, the other foot. Whatever you're doing, whatever level you're going to think about trying, those abdominals are working overtime on this one. They are pulled in and so tight. So whenever you're ready, you can come up. Now, if you're going to balance up back on the hips, keep that chest lifting. Don't let yourself round backwards. If you roll back, just bring yourself back up and try it again. I can even bring the arms here, straighten the legs, whatever you're up for today. All right. Bring the feet down if they're not already. Stretch the legs out. Take those arms up again. One more forward bend. Exhale, reach forward. Keep working for it. All right, ease out of it. We're going to bend the knees and roll down to the back. You can get down there any other way if you like. Once you have your head and shoulders on the mat, bring those knees in, roll the back a little bit. right, now take both feet up and flex and point the feet a few times. Circle the ankles a few times, one way and then the other. Okay? Now, bend the knees, keep that right knee pulled in, and slowly let that left leg stretch all the way out. Once you feel that that left hip has relaxed, the leg's able to be straight, stretch the right leg up. Take the hands anywhere you can, work into that hamstring stretch. All right, now bend the right knee as you inhale. On the exhale, we're going to pull just the right knee across into a single leg twist. Right arm is extended on the other side. Again, look toward the right arm. You can just keep your eyes up. All right, come onto your back. Right foot's going to go to the left knee. We've got our thread the needle stretch. You could keep the foot down and actively work by pressing the knee away from you, or bring that left foot up, strap or hands go under the leg, and we just take it a little deeper, a little differently. All right, a couple more breaths here, and then we'll do the whole left side. All right, so let's uncross the legs. Pull the knees in again, give that back a little roll. And then we'll keep the left knee in and slowly stretch that right leg down to the mat. Give it a moment. Let those hip flexors start to lengthen. And then we'll take the left foot up. Stretching out that left hamstring. All right, take a breath in as you bend the left knee. On the exhale, twist and pull that left knee across. Open that left arm away from you. All right, as we come out of that, you're taking the left foot to the right knee. Same thing, we can just activate by pressing the knee out, or take that foot off the mat. Oh, it's so nice to be able to do these again. A little bit longer here, another breath or two. All right, we're going to uncross the legs. Take the legs wider apart so each leg gets the same hand right behind it. Start by taking the knees and widen them. Now come into happy baby. So think about if you want to just take the feet up here. Do you want to reach around and grab those toes or the edges of the feet? Or, yeah, whatever you like to do here. I really like extending and bending the legs. I like feeling how my whole back feels like it's widely pressed in. So it's not just length now. I get to feel across the lower back. That feels really good. And you can really activate this by rolling and moving as much as you want to. All right, now, when you are ready to come out of that, go ahead and bring the knees back together. Hug them together, wrap the arms around them. Roll that back one more time. And then go ahead and bring yourself up. Bring the forehead up toward the knees. Kind of making yourself as small as you possibly can. Pulling everything into the center. And then we're going to open it up. Bring the feet down. Take the arms overhead. Stretch those legs out long. If you can, again, get those arms over the head or open them a little wider. Full body stretch as you inhale. So feel everything get a little longer as you're taking that breath in. Feel everything relax as you're exhaling. And just keep the arms there. Turn your head from one side to the other. All right, when you come back to center, we're going to, again, do that full body stretch. Inhale, nice and long. Exhale, again, letting it all relax. And one more time, deep breath in. And exhale and relax. Let's go ahead and bring those arms lower than shoulder height. Take the legs apart. If you want to grab a bolster or block to do anything different as you're getting into Savasana, you go to the wall, take those legs up the wall. This is just completely a matter of preference and what makes you the most comfortable. So eyes are closed, trying to just focus on breathing again, right? Just a simple act of that inhalation, feeling that expansion still into our body. On the exhale, feeling everything relax. And just giving yourself a little time to just stay there and enjoy it. You've got some time to scan through the body if you like doing that. If you know that you still hold on to quite a lot of tension, that's a good way to make sure you're getting rid of it all. All right, you can stay there longer if you like. If you're ready to start bringing yourself back, start out by just moving the fingers and toes a little bit. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Start those little movements, fingers and toes, and then as things feel like they're warming up a little bit, hands and feet, make the movements a little bigger. Bring yourself back up slowly. Again, don't use a lot of energy yet. I'm gonna come closer to you guys. All right.